Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237 and got another random review for you. I was actually looking up some playlists on YouTube for what they have for free movies, and I've seen a lot of 80s and slasher film playlists, so I was just doing some digging. And I came across this, which I've heard of but had never seen, and I'm glad I watched it. That's 1987's Blood Rage, which has a number of titles. Originally, it was Nightmare at Shadow Woods, which was the heavily censored version. And then it was known as Slasher, which even when it got which I believe Slasher was when it went to VHS. And then there was Blood Rage VHS, but now on DVD and everything that says Blood Rage, it still says Slasher in the opening credits. But it was directed by John Grissmer and stars Louise Lasser, Mark Soper, and Julie Gordon and Jane Benson. And released March 29th, 1987. This is one of the most fun slashers I've seen in a long time. But normally by like 1987, or even by somewhere in 84, definitely by 85, slashers were on their way down. Everything had been done. Some genre fatigue was coming in. And I think people were just tired of slashers, and they were becoming more, like, the quality was going down. They were becoming more self-aware, self-parody. Sometimes it works, sometimes it didn't. Like Return to Horror High, that one is fully self-aware and a self-parody, and it didn't work. Slaughter High is self-aware, but that one's low quality, but it's fun. This one is fully aware of what it is. Just another 80s slasher film, but it just runs with it, has fun, gory as hell. I mean, it's like the perfect bridge between like your Friday the 13th, The Burning, Tom Savini type 80s slasher film, and the splatter film of early Peter Jackson. There are some scenes in this that just feels like an early Peter Jackson film, and I love it for that. Plot-wise, it is structured very much like a slasher film. We get an event from years before, then we jump to present day. But it's done a little differently. It opens up in a drive-in, and there's this couple. I just had a hard time remembering if they were making out or if they were having sex. I think they're having sex. And there's these two twin boys. I think they're like 7 or 8 years old. And one of them finds a hatchet or a tomahawk, a hatchet, opens the door and just fucking hacks away at him. While standing behind him is his twin brother. And when the mother rushes up to see what's going on, the one that did the killing gets all panicky. It's like, he did it, he did it, he did it. And the twin says nothing. He just stands there blankly. And because of that, the quiet twin who did murder got put away in an institution, and which is Todd, and the one that did do the killing, Terry, stayed home with the mother, was able to grow up, but is now a full-blown psychopath. It's set on Thanksgiving, but it's not really a holiday slasher film. I mean, Thanksgiving, we see like a Thanksgiving dinner, but the whole holiday kind of takes a back seat. It's not like Eli Roth's Thanksgiving trailer, which that one trailer Eli Roth made for Thanksgiving for Grindhouse is still probably my favorite thing he's done. I would like to see that. Yes, I know it's the music from Creepshow. And a lot of people in it were in other Eli Roth films. And it actually takes place in 84 instead of 87, but uh, it, him and his mother live in this apartment complex called Shadow Woods, which is why the title for the censored version, I believe the theatrical version, Nightmare at Shadow Woods. And during the Thanksgiving dinner, his mother announces that she's getting married to her fiance, who, if I remember correctly, is the manager of the complex. Could be wrong on that, but I think that's what it was. Which, one thing that was cut in the VHS version, was it VHS or cable? Because I know it got confusing for a lot of people. There's a scene where the mother goes to visit Todd in the asylum. That one was cut. Because VHS had all the gore. Okay, that was missing from the original Nightmare at Shadow Woods cut, was the scene where she goes to visit him. But I guess that original version contained a swimming pool scene, which this one does have. It doesn't go into depth with it. But the anger of his mother remarrying is what brings his murderous impulses back out. And he just goes on a killing spree, and that's what this movie is. Nearby at this other apartment, there's going to be a party with some friends of his. Like, there's these two guys, this one girl, his girlfriend. That sort of becomes our characters, I guess. And Todd breaks out of the institute, becomes known to everyone, so they all think Todd is part of it. And, you know, the acting is really cheap. I liken this one to, like, Sleepaway Camp. It's low. I mean, this must have been a transfer from the Arrow release, because Arrow released a Blu-ray, like a 3-disc Blu-ray recently. Fairly recently. So the quality was actually very well done and clear, but like Sleepaway Camp, the production quality is rather low. The acting is very campy and silly, but the movie, like, it's a slasher film. We watch it for the kills. The kills are there. The gore was way more than I expected. I mean, like, we see this one guy, the fiance, he's sitting in his office. Terry's behind him. He uses a machete at the sliding glass door, and when he turns around with the beer, he just cuts his hand off, and we get this kind of lengthy scene where he's just looking at the stump and blood's oozing out, hacks him all up, which then later on is a real Peter Jackson scene, which eventually later on the mother goes to that office, standing behind him, talking to him like, Todd's back and he's killing again. Then she looks and kind of touches him. His head falls on the desk, splits open, and we see his brain. And I mean, it is all moist and goopy, and it's not really realistic, but it's really fun. And as far as, like, the other characters that get killed, the 4 friends at the one apartment, where we have Terry's girlfriend, this other girl who hits on Terry for a bit, and these 2 other guys. The one girl and one of the other guys goes out to the pool. They They, of course, get killed. Todd's doctor goes looking for him because there's like wood. There's obviously woods around the complex. She believes that Todd never killed anybody, so she's walking around looking for him. Terry comes up and just he hacks at her, and then we just see her fall, and she's in half. Like we see her top half, and she's kind of laying there, and then we see her bottom half, and like I think her legs are bent, so we only see like her waist down to her knees, but like her leg stumps are kind of like twitching. So great effects. There's this other couple at this other apartment with a baby. They get killed. And eventually when Todd does see Terry, he's so terrified that he runs away. And I'll say Mark Soper did do a good job because Todd is this very timid, like, just scared, almost man-child. Whereas Terry is this very cocky, walk up straight, just very, almost a textbook psychopath. There's parts where eventually it leads up to his girlfriend being the final girl, the one that runs away from him. She'll like kick him to run away, and he'll just be like, "Ow, that hurt." Just, and of course he has bodies stashed everywhere for her to run into. The mother seems to be she sits alone in her apartment, seemingly going crazy. First she sees sitting on the floor in front of the fridge, eating. At one point, if I remember correctly, she's just getting more and more drunk as well. And yeah, the last 20 minutes or so is just like this chase of Terry chasing Karen through the complex and running into all the different bodies. And it all leads up to the ending where they're standing at the pool and Todd and Terry are fighting. They end up in the pool. It seems like Todd was defeated, but Karen helps him out. And then the mother comes in with her pistol because this is after she realizes people have been getting killed. She goes to the fiance's manager's office. That's when he falls on the desk and his head splits. Awesome effect and scene. And she just takes her pistol out and just starts shooting him. She shoots him here, then here. Just keeps shooting him. He falls dead, and then she hugs Todd. It's like, you're a good boy. You're the perfect boy. Just gonna be us. You're such a good boy. And she calls him Terry because she hadn't realized the truth yet. And so that's when he tells her, it's like, I'm Todd. I'm not Terry. I'm Todd. And then he goes over to the wall to have a meltdown, screaming, "I'm Todd. I'm Todd." Then the mother starts yelling, "I'm Todd. I'm Todd," and then she shoots herself. End of the movie. I'm probably leaving a lot out, but with slasher films, there's not really a whole lot to talk about. It's a very limited setting. We're in and around this apartment complex, small group of characters. We do get the idea that Todd is a good-natured person because he finds the body of his doctor and he gets emotional, saying, "I know you believed me. I wish you could have done more." And then he starts walking away, and there's this little girl looking for her cat. And she sees him and is like, "Have you seen my cat?" And he's like, "No, but there's a bad man out here. So you ought to just go home, lock the door, and don't answer it for anybody." which she does. And then, of course, when Karen's being chased, she gets to that door, says, "Let me in." She says, "No, I was told not to." I mean, I would put this in the... I was going to say in the realm of Sleepaway Camp, but that's for as far as... Even though it is technically not a good movie, because it is low quality, low budget, campy acting, sort of very loose on plot or very minimal on plot. It has a lot of charm to it, like Sleepaway Camp does. There's, as a slasher film and a slasher fan, there's a lot to appreciate, like Sleepaway Camp. And I had a ball watching it. I really, I really had a lot of fun with it. I hadn't heard too much about this film, so I didn't know it was as gory as it is. But I loved it. If I were to do another top 10 slashers, aside from big franchise ones, which I do count Silent Night, Deadly Night, because are the sequels even anything? You know, or just regular standalone slashers, which even then I can't count Sleepaway Camp, but you know, Madman, The Prowler, Maniac, The Burning, Bloody Valentine, Just Before Dawn, Bloody Birthday, Pieces, Nightmares and a Damaged Brain, Alone in the Dark. I gotta stop or else I'll list all of them. If this didn't make the top 10, it would definitely be an honorable mention. I mean, I had a lot of fun watching it, and I appreciate the fact that it's not going for like, all right, we're gonna make the next big slasher. It's self-aware. It knows what it is. It knows it's a low budget, low quality, campy, fun movie, but it runs with it. It works with what it has, which is elaborate gore effects, fun kills, and a fun, truly psychotic killer. Yeah, a lot of the stuff in it might be kind of silly, like some of the performances and whatnot, but I thought it was fun as hell. I loved the effects. Yeah, they're not... It's also not supposed to be a Saw movie. It's not supposed to be realistic. But the effects were great, you know, especially when you look at 80s films. I mean, I think this tops some of Tom Savini's stuff as far as just how extreme it goes. Not necessarily the quality of how it looks. But, yeah. Blood Rage, Slasher, Nightmare in Shadow Woods. I thought it was really fun. I enjoyed the hell out of it. And it's really make me want to go back and just see what other 80s slashers I missed are on there for me to check out. So that was Blood Rage, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.